Welcome back to the channel. Today I thought we'd give you sort of a quick rundown of what we've changed, why we've changed it, and sort of the new things upcoming for the next season, which we are pretty excited about. So yeah, let's get into it. So first sort of big change, I mean massive change, that we've got this season is we've moved over to a whole new sort of template system, and the way we sort of build the boards. We're sort of evolving from sort of the old way we used to do it into sort of the new way we've done, which we use for the skis, the wakeboards, and some of the sort of newer powder boards and that and such. So we're sort of evolving the old range into sort of the new, which is going to sort of hopefully provide a much better quality, and also yeah, just some sort of new innovative shapes, and to sort of keep it interesting and jazz it up a bit. Here's a sort of core for some skis that we've got set up. Obviously this is done with the new sort of method, and the way we do this is we'll get the template, that screws into place, and then we'll go around with the router like you've seen in some of the other videos. We go around and we sort of almost carves out a trench. From once we've got that trench, we then sort of mix the G-Flex up, which is a sort of a flexible epoxy, and we sort of add colours to it. It's quite easy to sort of customise. We can add glitter and add sort of other things like glow in the dark and things like that, which is something we'll be experimenting a bit more with in the future. So here is the core of a regular sort of snowboard. So here we've got the sort of old core, and as you can see it doesn't really look like a snowboard. The reason we used to do this is because on the inside we then add this sort of piece of plastic, which sort of gives us that nose and tail, which enables us to sort of go from sort of a blunt nose shape like this one into the sort of standard round nose shape using that same bit of plastic, and it comes out quite far, which gives us a bit of a sort of leeway in it. The reason we did this is it's sort of more efficient for getting different shapes out, as it uses the same sort of templates for different boards and things like that. And again, the reason we changed it is because you do sort of, if you sort of look in here, you can see the gap of where it you're always going to get that gap of where it joins, and we're then restricted on how thick this piece is, so meaning they're all sort of going to be that same thickness in the nose and tail. What we've got here is the Douk. It's pretty similar to the old style one. We've sort of widened it slightly for this sort of bit more carving ability, but again the nose is sort of similar in that sort of pin nose we used to call it, sort of shape. And then we've got the Minister, which is a bit more sort of shovel head looking, and the reason we did this is sort of this board's like a nice soft sort of playful board, and it gives you a bit more sort of area for your presses, and then when you're hitting rails and things like that, you've got a bit more area to sort of land those tricks on, as opposed to having sort of a narrow board that's slightly less area to sort of hit your rails and things. Next up we've got the Asbo. The Defiant is the exact same as well. It's just a sort of the female version, which is sort of smaller and slightly sort of flexier as well. But again, these can all be sort of customised if you want something different. It's sort of like a bone shape. This one is sort of very similar dimensions to the old sort of shapes as well. Sort of slightly narrower, for sort of more all-round riding as opposed to just sort of dedicated to one thing. Next up, we got the Slick. Again, it's the same for the Twisted, another just female version of the Slick. And this is again similar to the Minister, but also similar to the Asbo. So it's sort of your in-between all-out park and sort of your all-mountain piece board. Still, these two are your sort of all-round boards, and these two are your sort of more dedicated boards for riding the park or for sort of hard mountain riding, but these ones are the sort of the go-to boards if you're looking for something to fill you in for the whole holiday. So yeah, that's a quick sort of intro onto the new shapes, why we've done it, and hopefully you sort of learned a little bit there. And if you have any sort of more questions into sort of the technology and how we design the boards and why we sort of do certain shapes and things like that, if you want to know more about that, drop it in the comments, pester us, and we can sort of do more of what you want to see. And if you don't want to see that, let us know as well. It's always appreciated, sort of feedback and how we're doing. And if you want to try any of the new range out, we have our demo weeks. We have them out in Slovakia and as well in La Plan. So if you want to get on one of those, we'll put some information below. They're always good fun. Riding with sort of other solo riders that haven't necessarily got a whole crew to go with, even if it's just 2 mates, they come on, there's other people there, they're sort of like-minded, everyone wants to snowboard and everyone wants to try the boards. And then at the end of the week you get to choose your favourite board and you can take that home with you. Well, you don't take it home, we will make you a fresh one and send it out to you. But yeah, they're always good fun. So yeah, information below, get involved.